There's always been Disney pins for years and years and years. There's like pins from like the 70s, but no one ever really sees them. I've seen them, but still. The 10th anniversary of pin trading, which was 2010, that's really when pin trading really became really, really big. Like, the phenomenon that it is now. Like, where, like, parents and kids do it alike. Before, it was like, you knew about it, you did it, if possible, but there are literally millions of pins out there. And I remember specifically, it was March 7th of 2007. I just happened to know, I was visiting from college, so I know that day, and then I found a pin of that day of that year on a calendar. So, like, it's like a calendar pin. So I was like, oh my god, that's really creepy. But I always swear I'm not going to get more than 10, 20, 30, and then 50 was my cap, and then finally I was like, okay. And that's when I started to pin trade. I really started pin trading because of eBay. You can buy lots of random pins. They're not always necessarily real, which is unfortunate, but you know, you do what you do. And you trade them in the parks, and then you end up getting the good ones off of cast members, and then you can go from there. There's like different, like, there's like sneaks, there's snitches, there's really nice people, but like there's people that really try to like get as much out of you as possible. I know it's just, it sounds so nerdy, but there's like cliques and drama. At the end of the day, everyone loves Disney, and everyone's adults. There's hardly any kids there, and I think that's another reason why it's so fun, is that everyone is an adult that basically is at those tables. You're a kid if you go with like an older sibling or a parent, but usually it's all adults. You have an emotional connection with the characters that are on the pins, and it's not just like a pin with like a princess with their arms up like this. Like, there's one pin of Mickey Mouse driving through Yosemite, and it says Yosemite, and that's really cool because Yosemite's like one of my favorite places in the world, and I've climbed Half Dome there, so that's super random. I have another pin that's a beast, that's the Beast, but he's dressed as a mariachi with a sombrero on, so it's like, where do you get these things, you know? Like, it's like, so you have not only emotional connection with the pins themselves, with the characters, but there's so many different types of pins that you're able to relate them to your everyday life.